Good afternoon, Professor. Analysis of Shackleton's Antarctic expedition leadership. We conduct an in-depth analysis of Shackleton's leadership during the 1914 Endurance Antarctic expedition, exploring his leadership traits, practices, and practical significance from multiple dimensions by combining theory with practice. The specific contents are as follows. The first part is critical analysis of Shackleton's leadership effectiveness based on Gary Yoko's 5 leadership approaches. In this part, we have 5 dimensions. The first is trait approach. Yoko's trait theory holds that successful leaders possess stable personality traits such as integrity, decisiveness, and self-confidence, which are shaped by long-term life experiences and cannot be acquired through short-term training. During the critical period, when the Endurance was trapped and eventually crushed by ice, Shackleton remained calm and optimistic. He interacted with team members through daily inspections, concerned about their physical and mental status, and inspired them with literature and poetry to convey tenacity and hope. In the harsh cold and resource-scarce situation, he prioritized the safety of his team members over himself. He once gave his gloves to a sailor with frostbite, while he himself was at risk of frostbite. These selfless, brave, and kind behaviors reflected his spiritual leadership in extreme adversity, and his personal charm and spirit of sacrifice greatly inspired the entire team. The second is behavioral approach. Yoko's behavioral model divides leadership behaviors into task-oriented and relationship-oriented categories. Shackleton balanced these two behaviors well during the expedition. On the one hand, even when the ship was trapped in ice and the team had to wait for a long time, he still insisted on arranging daily affairs such as cleaning, patrolling, supplying, hunting, and observing the weather. This not only maintained the normal operation of the team, but also oriented team members from psychological breakdown and low morale due to idleness. On the other hand, he did not understand leadership as command and control, but paid more attention to close team relationships and a positive psychological atmosphere. He regularly held festival celebrations for team members, such as the Midwinter Banquet, arranged recreational activities to promote interaction among team members, resolved conflicts in a humorous, inclusive, and respectful manner, and also let officers and ordinary sailors participate in physical labor together to reduce barriers between functions and enhance the cohesion and the resilience of the team. The third is power influence approach. This model holds that a leader's influence depends on his use of various power bases, including formal positional power and informal personal power. As the expedition commander, Shackleton had legitimate command power and organizational management power, but he relied more on highly infectious referent power. This power stemmed from his personal charm, impeccable behavior, and high sense of responsibility and moral character. In the worst cases, he always put team members first, never prioritized access to food and warmth, and was willing to exchange his own comfort for the safety to others, winning the respect and trust of them. When Carpenter questioned his leadership due to frustration with the situation, he did not surprise to punish conflict and solidating his leadership position. He also formed a non-authoritarian influence by example and formed team commitment. His use of power confirms Yuko's view that successful leadership does not lie in the abuse of power, but in the ability to transform it into positive energy that inspires the team to move forward. The first dimension is situational approach. Situational leadership theory emphasizes that the effectiveness of leadership does not lie in a single style, but in whether the leader can flexibly adjust the style according to the environment, task nature, and team members' personalities. Shackleton's was a model of situational leadership in his expedition. The fifth dimension is integrative approach. Yuko's integrative approach holds that the effectiveness of leadership needs to integrate various factors such as personal traits, behavioral style, influence strategies, and environmental adaptability. Shackleton's exponential practice is a vivid case of this theory. He has stable personality traits such as tenacity, decisiveness, optimism, and self-confidence, as well as excellent organizational and coordination skills and keen insight. When a crisis broke out, he could quickly transform into a leadership style focusing on humanity care, morale support, and safety control to maintain team stability. In practice, he not only paid attention to task completion and goal achievement and arranged daily work processes in detail to ensure orderly resource allocation and clear responsibilities, but also focused on building team relationships and providing psychological assistance. The second part is strengths and weaknesses of Shackleton's leadership. In this part, we also have two dimensions. The first is strengths. High emotional intelligence and concern for team members' well-being. During the 20-month polar journey, he paid close attention to the emotional health and the psychological state of team members, maintained morale through one-on-one communication, design of collective activities, and the creation of an equal culture, could detect potential psychological crises early, and effectively alleviate team anxiety through casual conversations, inspirational speeches, and model behavior. Strong adaptability. When the original expedition goal could not be achieved, he immediately changed the goal to survival of all and set fixed goals such as going to Elephant Island and South Georgia Island, bringing hope and a sense of control to a team. Good communication style. Open and transparent, always conveying form hope and confidence to team members. Decisive judgment. Could make correct decisions at critical moments, such as immediately deciding to abandon the expedition when the ice layer broke, leading the team to transfer the camp and board the ship to evacuate. Emphasis on team building. When selecting team members, he not only considered professional skills but also paid attention to their personalities, emotional stability, and team compatibility. Recruited those with a sense of humor and positive attitude, and intentionally grouped team members with different personalities to enhance collaboration and support at the macro level. The second dimension is weaknesses. Overly optimistic and confident. He was overly optimistic about the ice conditions in the Weddell Sea, underestimated the risks of abnormal fluctuations in Antarctic weather and ocean currents, did not fully learn from previous expedition experiences, and insisted on sailing despite warnings from local whalers, resulting in the Endurance being trapped in flowing ice and eventually wrecked. Defects in expedition design. The proposed two-ship model, although ambitious and symbolic, had deficiencies in resource allocation and execution capacity. The lack of effective communication and coordination mechanism between the two ships and the logistical shortcomings made the entire expedition extremely challenging.
Problems faced by Shackleton in Antarctic expedition and ways to guard his crew through life and death issue. Faced by 1914 shortly after Enduring entered the Weddell Sea. It was trapped by the sea ice and eventually crashed and sank in October 1915, temporarily following the Carino plane to cross Antarctica. Since then, Shackleton needed to lend 28 team members to survive in a proper environment with steel seat from outside world and hard conditions. Ways to deal with seat guards faced with solution of escape skiing and insulation from the outside world. He quickly changed the team's strength goal from completing the expedition to survive of all clear start that no one would be abandoned, providing psychological support for the team. This time purpose fatigues break down the long team survival goals into fatigues such as from the ice floe cape to Elephant Island, from Elephant Island across the Southern Ocean to Southern Georgia Island, and then to final scare and return. Disturb the hard pressure into daily small tickets and establishing a scare action route and psychological explanation for team's members. Adult symbolic leadership behaviors. When leaving the skip, he instructed everyone to carry only necessary equipment. Multiple teams in Cabo expedition imagine carefully templates by himself and photograph, writing only a few the most important native. This, however, was not only a tactical optimization but also a transmission of as attitude to survival. One must abandon life things, focus on scare goals, making teams member understand and leaders would give up emotion to for set an example to build trust, share food and accommodation with team's members. Share will one Elephant Island. He also sleep in deep tent with team's member. Let team member weep in his sleeping bag and never involve rotation. Through this equate and accommodation shall he established a strong based on trust and respect, team spirit and assent. And reduce internet confidence caused by result competition. Use motor leadership matches after setting up keep on the ice. Deal all team members into multiple groups with trust senior team members as the person in charge of each turn, responsible for agreeing daily affairs and paying attention to the emotional health of team members in the group. This tactical night strength not only faced management but also could help distort the handle information problems in small groups, providing local emotion cuts from more into collective. For example, when tappers refuse to open orders due to food injuries and extract photo. He resolved the person by familiar the rules and performance for watch. Is that emoji management during hundreds of days per night, self-code and no hopeless waiting. He never show analyze our fitting in front of team members, always remind calm and only replaced internet performance through daily improvised. This emotionless stable leadership provides a stable emotional shift for team members and enhance the psychological dependence and trust the team on him. Brave discussion making an adventure spirit. He did not choose the theoretical clothes by French Falkland Island, but received landing 5 people to South Georgia Island by boat through 800 miles of sea. On the way, he personality take part in royal navigation and styling and careful team members, taking those who have native emotion with him to avoid the styling on Elephant Island and affect the team morale. He learned by example, making the team members staying on Elephant Island feeling believe that he would come back to rescue them. Reunions between Shackleton's leadership style, change management, and organization leadership in VOCA business environment. What is reference to rapid and distant change in external world, just as the endurance was caused by ice leading to a sudden change in fast happenings was also sudden situation such as global COVID-19 panic, facing problems such as support change discussion, employee downtime, and sudden change in customer demand, and extending opportunity models. The primary duties of leader is to stabilize the team model and clarify the discussion. Shackleton was calm and fair in the face of crisis and immediately established the service goal for the team. This is the reflected in model company responsible to crisis. Uncriticity misfaced as purpose, information quality, and difficult prediction. Shackleton's team was isolated from external assistance during communication, intuition, and could not repeat as competitions. She had a purpose goal meet with real-time feedback, adjust strategy, aiding to on-site observation nowadays. Templates was also used small village models in planning. Template references the intuition of multiple variable annual growth of problems and high management difficult, such as exam climate, food shortage, political size, flows of team members, total of medical equipment, and native. Mine faster as mean information, unclear cost and effect